Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriel, and this is the Rise Atlantis show. The topic for today will be about. I haven't really thought of the correct wording. It's I will call it false health practices that are actually dangerous. I don't know if there's a simpler term I could call it, but basically false health practices that are dangerous. And I'll be going over, various different ones. A whole lot of deceptive practices that a lot of people are using, claiming they work, but the science shows that they are actually dangerous and cause actual worse health problems. So, getting started with the show, the first news story is Dutch mystic predicts major earthquake to hit this week. So a Dutch psychic is predicting that an earthquake is going to hit this week. Let's see here. A rogue researcher out of the Netherlands said supermoon said to occur this week will spawn earthquakes somewhere in the world. Frank Hoogerbeets is his name, believes that major earthquakes are caused by planetary alignments. In turn, unleashes electromagnetic energy impacting Earth. Okay, let's see here. What else? He uses crop circles and messages from the other side. He doesn't explain what messages. How does he receive those messages? Okay, let's see here. According to him, Earth is poised to be rocked by 7 magnitude or larger earthquakes that could happen early as Tuesday. So his actual quote is saying could happen. So if he's wrong, he will not be seen as that he's saying it for certain. He's saying could. We always, when we make predictions, we always have to say it could. We have to be humble and not say it's guaranteed, because if it doesn't happen, it will look bad saying we guarantee it, like for sure it's going to happen. So you always have to be humble and say it may happen. Let's see here. Should an event not fold on the 30th, he cautions that there will still be a window of time that lasts until Friday, where the odds of earthquakes are significant. As one can imagine, skeptics say his earthquake predictions are mixed in the past, not informed by any scientific backing, likely merely guesswork. Fortunately, we just have to wait a couple days to see if he is correct or not. I hope that God does send an earthquake on this day, not just for him, but to show God is warning the world of his return. May the earthquake not injure or kill anyone. So hopefully it just shakes stuff up. Hopefully it doesn't damage anything. It's just merely a sign to the world of Jesus' return. So the next story, Virginia man walks barefoot across 120 feet of Lego bricks. Now this will be, kind of talking about false health practices. Is that really, is walking over hot coals, is that very therapeutic, or is it doing more danger, causing more harm than good? Like when they say like acupuncture, for example. I think acupuncture is okay. Um, but certain kind of pain that inflicts, what if it punctures nerves? What if it causes stress upon the nerves? Is not good. So you always have to make sure when you do therapeutic things like that, that you don't get anywhere near nerves. Elon Musk, $500 boring company flamethrower. Elon Musk is making a $500 flamethrower, and this is a picture of it right here. A $500 flamethrower. Now, if he makes it and sells it, they might. What people do is when people make something limited edition, they then in turn resell it as a bid for higher bidders. So that flamethrower might be worth way more later on. And most likely this is going to be a limited time thing that he's doing. He's also selling a $30 fire extinguisher. Well, those are everywhere. But a $500 flamethrower. I'm not sure if that's illegal in some states. You probably may need some kind of license for it or something. On Christmas Eve, he sold 50,000 hats. He tweeted that the flamethrowers were coming soon. So I wonder how many flamethrowers he's going to make. It doesn't say here. Now they're calling it the Boring Company. I'm not sure if that's really what he named it or if that's what they're just calling it. You know? Okay, so that's really what he called it, boringcompany.com. I guess he's taking has a sense of humor, you know, and that's why he came up with that name. So it's basically an airsoft rifle modified to shoot flames. Well, that's not good if everyone starts walking around with flamethrowers everywhere, you know? So next story. Swearing is good for you, and chimps do it too. Scientists say swearing is good for you. Can you believe this? And even scientists are saying that swearing is good. You know, we must not cuss. We must be pure as we can to please God, you know. And cussing is a horrible addiction because once people start cussing all the time, it becomes, it breeds immorality, you know. It creates unmoralism. So that is not good at all, you know. And I can't believe from London, now even scientists are saying for everyone to start cussing. It's getting crazy, man. Let's see here. Starting tomorrow is when the blood supermoon is going to happen. Wednesday morning, which is like, what time does it say here? It doesn't give a time yet. I'm trying to find the time it's going to be. But I had read yesterday that it was going to be somewhere between 5 or 6 in the morning. But we should be able to see it tonight. Maybe like at 2 or 3. If the moon is in the horizon enough, we'll be able to see it. State of the Union, immigration, and Iran. Trump's big week ahead. So I'm excited to see the State of the Union speech by Trump. That's always a big speech because that's where they talk about like all topics involved. I remember when George Bush Jr. was talking about stem cells, and he didn't mention human cloning, but he said something like, I believe he said that I believe he did say human cloning. I believe his exact quote was, "One of the most egregious forms of medical procedures is human cloning." And so he mentioned it, which was awesome. I'm almost certain he said that. Um, so I thought that was interesting. I hope Trump can mention something about cloning, if not humans and animals, or something in relation to embryonic stem cell research. You know, the strange part of science where it can get to. You know, so let's hope and pray that Trump mentions human cloning or animal cloning. Um, I remembered Bill Clinton. He mentioned human cloning. I think this was when he was president on his second month of his first term, somewhere around there. It may have been his third or fourth year of his term of president. But he said, "quote, we must resist the temptation to replicate ourselves." He said, "We must resist the temptation to replicate ourselves." Wow, isn't that awesome? So, Bill Clinton, he mentioned human cloning, and it's only for the wise to understand what he's saying, to replicate ourselves. It don't take a rocket scientist to know that reproducing, it's not just talking about regular reproducing that already exists. uh, Talking about replicating means an exact copy of, so it's clearly not regular reproduction. So he said, "Wow, replication, you know," and he really hit the nail right on the head with that one. So let's see here. Next story. 5-month abortion ban bill fails to pass Senate. Now, they want to even do it earlier than 5 months. They want to do it like right off the bat, like the first month that they see of a baby being created. They want to not allow abortions on. It's very, very heated debate because these women that have the babies that say that they were forced into or something, or that they were accidents, they say that they don't want to have the baby after all, and that not just because they don't want to, but they don't want to tell their kids when they grow up that they didn't want them, so they threw them into an adoption agency, and they don't want to have their children hating them when they grow up, so that's why they want abortion. When the pro-lifers say, well, it's your fault, whether you got forced into it or not, basically saying that, you know, basically saying that, for abortions to still, to become banned, you know what I mean? And at the same time, they say that they should not be punished for something that was forced upon them. That's why they want to choose abortion instead of throwing their children in adoption agencies. So, it's a very heated debate, and that's one reason why Ray L had pushed for human cloning. He said, well, there's already, we all look alike as it is. You have your twins, triplets, quadruplets. And then he went further to say, well, if abortion is legal, human cloning could be legal. And he said that everyone that died on 9/11, 3,000 people, that if they would have had their spare bodies in cryogenic tanks, if they would have had their spare clones in cryogenic tanks after they died, that they would have been able to bring those 3,000 people back from the dead through warming the cryogenics up and bringing out their clones with the same age and everything, And they're not the same. They have different personalities, different traits, and they are not the same people, you know? And, you know, these atheists, they see it as there's nothing wrong in cloning humans, you know? They see it like there's nothing wrong, that there's no God, there's no ethics, there's no morals, you know? They see it like there's nothing wrong, you know? It's just as natural as regular reproduction, you know? And, you know, I remember seeing one time on CNN, they're saying this was like in 2002, 2003 when I first heard of Rael on the news. And this was about a week later. They had said, well, what if the cloned children, what if they get in fights with their parents and they look exactly like their parents that they hated so much and they commit suicide? You know, it's like with gay marriage, you know, on when the children are forced to have the same gender of parents, and then they hate that and they get angry and they either commit suicide or run away, you know? So then, and that's where other people argue, well, it happens in regular families as well, you know? So it's very hard to debate it all, you know? You know, that's why the Christians want to ban gay marriage, you know? And now it's becoming legal all around the world, you know? So it's not just gay people being married, it's them adopting children and having children from previous marriages. You know, that's where the debate comes in. You know, that's where they want to ban them adopting children, you know? And, you know, and that's where abortion comes in, you know? I believe that adoptions should be cheaper, more people could afford it, you know, but it's really bad because, like, when the children grows up and then they find out they're not the real parents, you know, they can commit suicide, they can get angry, you know, fight with the parents, run away, want to find their real parents, and their real parents might not even love them, you know? So it's very complicated. There's no simple solution, you know? There's no way to just say allow abortions or ban it, keep it banned, you know? Now they're trying to push towards earlier than 5 months, you know, like the first day after they want to have an abortion, you know? And next story, police prevent a second school shooting. Teen found with arsenal of weapons. This was in Benton, Kentucky. It appears authorities in Pennsylvania prevented a similar attack last week. So the shooting that did happen was Benton, Kentucky. This one happened it almost happened in Pennsylvania, but they were able to prevent it before it happened. A 14-year-old Uniontown student was taken into custody after a classmate overheard him threatening to shoot fellow students. Planning to kill at least 4 of his classmates and take aim at others. So, you know, again, it's the parents' fault for not locking up their guns. Next story is salt, the solution to winter's dangers. Threatens U.S. waters. They said, when roads turn into ice rinks, consider trying beet juice. Molasses, even beer and cheese are ways to make them safer. They said they fear road salt is starting to take a toll on the nation's waterways, putting everything from fresh fish and frogs to microscopic zooplankton at risk. Tossed on the sideways and dumped on the highways. Salt has provided the most affordable way to cut down on accidents, and pedestrians fall during winter storms. It said those tons of sodium chloride crystals, more than 20 million nationwide each year, are increasing the salinity of hundreds of lakes, especially northwest. Let's see here. It's affecting the ecosystem. So I guess what they're saying here is when the streets get all iced up, everything, the germs and everything else, it starts to go into the sewer system and into the oceans. I mean, it's different from natural rain. It's more like acid rain is what it's talking about. FCC chief, let's see here. FCC chief opposes Trump administration 5G network plan. So the FCC chief is opposing Trump's administration's 5G network plan. And it's showing AT&T here. Like AT&T is at the being part of it. So Trump wants to nationalize a secure 5G network. It said any 5G plan would, now 5G is internet speed. Any 5G plan would require FCC approval, leaving the future of the Trump administration in serious doubt. They're saying the United States needs to centralize its 5G network by the end of Trump's first term as a safeguard against Chinese cybersecurity and economic and cyber hackers. So this is why they want to do it for the 5G network everywhere, is to prevent against hackers as well. Axios is the one that's overseeing it all. Axios organization. They said that the plan is highly controversial. They're basically saying it's becoming too Orwellian, too New World Order, so they don't want to have it like that because they don't want it to be too New World Order. Let's see here. Next story. 9 of the most talked about moments at the 2018 Grammys. Okay, it's loading. They're talking about the Larry Nassar scandal, immigration and race. Of course, there's always police violence on people. They need to stop killing people. And these cops killing people, they don't even have their body cameras on. So the body cameras on, they're supposed to, and they don't even have them on. You know what I mean? And they're getting away with murder. It's an abomination. It really is. Kendrick Lamar's banger song of an opener. Let's see here. Kendrick Lamar, the rapper, blew away everyone with loaded, compelling performances. The song XXX and DNA, backed by the American flag and many fatigues and ski masks. You see, what I don't like about rap music is it's becoming too glorification on crime, and it always has been since the gangster rap era, but like hip hop and rap needs to come back to the party element of hip hop. You see, when rap was first started, it was old school hip hop, and it was all like Sugar Hill Gang, the Soul Sonic Force, African Bambaataa, Cool Herc. It was all the founding fathers, you know what I mean, that started hip hop, and it was all about the party, man. That's what made it fun. That's rap started coming out because of the crying out, because of the struggles of living in the ghetto and stuff, the drugs, the crime, all that, they weren't really glorifying it at the time. They were just talking about how bad it is, like Tupac would say, you know. But nowadays, rappers are glorifying that type of lifestyle to where they're not really talking about the struggle anymore. They're talking about living immoral, you know what I mean? And that is not a good message to send to the kids, so it keeps getting worse. So, you know, and I believe mostly every rapper has their good side as well. Even the most hardcore gangster rapper who loves to, you know, talk about like glorified crime and all that, they still have their good side and they still talk about, God here and there, so it's like, I just see like rap needs to come back to the party element of it all. That's what it was all about. So let's see, what else do they talk about? At the end, Dave Chappelle told the audience, I just want to remind the audience that the only more thing frightening than watching a black man be honest in America is being an honest black man in America. Sorry for the interruption. So, let's see here. 2 was Kesha's angelic performance of praying. So Kesha had all these people in white robes, like it says in Revelation. And she had Cyndi Lauper, Camila Cabello, and Andrea Day, Julia Michaels, and BB Rexa. And the Resistance Revival Chorus joined her on stage. Number 3 was Janelle Monáe's speech, was about artists, writers, assistants, publicists, CEOs, producers, engineers, and women from all sectors of the business, who were daughters, wives, mothers, sisters, and human beings. Come in peace, but we mean business. To those who would dare try to silence us, we offer you 2 words, time's up. Number 4, Blue Ivy stealing the show. Let's see, what did she say? So this girl, Blue Ivy, she was telling everyone to stop being so embarrassing. Number 5, celebrities read from Fire and Fury, including Yes Her. And a cameo from Hillary Clinton, where she was reading from a book. Number 6, Camila Cabello's tribute to Dreamers and the DACA program and all. Number 7, YouTube's performance underneath Statue of Liberty. Number 8, boos for Ed Sheeran. They booed Ed Sheeran. Why did they boo him? Let's see here. He was performing Shape of You, beating out the likes of Kelly Clarkson, Pink, Lady Gaga, and Kesha. I can't imagine why people were so upset. Ed Sheeran, by the way, was mercifully not there to hear all the boos. Number 9, a powerful tribute to Las Vegas. They were talking about the Las Vegas shooter, and they had Ozzy Osbourne, the brothers Osbourne, and they were talking about it, about the shooting. Okay, so the next story is a Russian jet flies within 5 feet of U.S. Pentagon plane. No, the Navy plane, the Pentagon says. So Russia, they sent one of their jets to fly within 5 feet of the U.S. Navy plane. Now, 5 feet's really close. You know, 5 feet is dangerously close. And Russia had the nerve to send one of their planes 5 feet in front of the U.S. Navy plane. You know, so this could be a sign that we may be going to war with Russia soon. And it may be involved with war with North Korea and China may take North Korea's side. So if something happens, we could enter World War III, a nuclear conflagration. And Russia, for all we know, may take sides with North Korea and China, and they may all team up and attack us. You know what I mean? So it's getting very crazy. We have a whole lot of countries at war with America right now, you know? And China said that they would help us to deal with North Korea, but China's giving in to North Korea by giving them oil, giving them weapons and materials, you know, and they're violating the sanctions that is on North Korea, you know. So China is teaming up with North Korea, and for all we know, China may go to war with America, and they may bring Russia in. Russia is warmongering, and they're threatening America here. This is breaking news. Russia is threatening America with war. Breaking news. Russia is threatening America with war. So we could go to war with all these powerful countries, and we might not be able to fight them off, you know? This is World War III happening. Now, this is not fear-mongering. This is not doom and gloom. This is all showing you all the signs of the times, and for us all to get excited of Jesus' return. This next story, U.S. military revising security practices after fitness app reveals sensitive information. So a fitness app was showing all the bases of all the countries around the world. They were revealing American bases. They were revealing England bases, France bases, all the bases of all the countries around the world. This app. It doesn't say what the app is called. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Even James Mattis has been informed about the situation. So they're going to crack down on this app. But that's not it. Hackers are starting to spread the information. So even if they do shut down the application, the information is still going to be spread around by hackers, you know. So there's a lot of weird stuff happening right now, you know. A lot of people, they tend to see every day as like, oh, it's guaranteed going to be here for us. You know what I mean? It's like it says in Revelation, you know, that they will think each day is going to be another day for them, but the end is going to come like a torrent in the days of Noah, like a flood. You know what I mean? And a lot of people see life as like, oh, you know, that tomorrow's guaranteed for them, you know. And there's so many signs that we are in the last days, you know what I mean? And the signs are going to quicken. They're going to get more intense. You know, there's going to be catastrophic signs coming. And I'm not talking about just weather disasters or meteors hitting. There are meteors that are coming, but they're going to be hitting in certain places. That's not going to kill or injure anyone. But, you know, war is coming. I've had dreams where America is being drafted. They were drafting everyone to fight in the war. They drafted me. They drafted you. They drafted everyone. That World War III was happening. I've had many dreams of this. So World War III is coming. And a lot of people like to say it's never going to happen. But when it comes, man, World War III comes, you know. So they're not saying the name of this application. Okay, it's called Strava. Strava, S-T-R-A-V-A, is the social media network for athletes. And it's like a fitness tracker, but it's revealing all the secretive bases. Okay, we've gone 40 minutes in, so we're going to have to wrap up the news real quick. We only have like 3 more. Okay, Steve Wynn remade Vegas, but China is where he makes the real money. Now he's a casino owner that is with the allegations of a scandal, so he's stepping down. Russia accuses U.S. of meddling in its election. See, this is another news story that Russia is planning to go to war with America. The next one, Putin critic dragged away from Russian police. You see, they don't even allow the freedom of speech over there in Russia. If you start protesting, if you start saying anything on the internet, they go and take you out. Now, they might not assassinate you, but they throw you in jail, just for speaking, just for protesting. That's violation of the freedom of speech that they should have, and they don't have the freedom of speech over there. The drug fentanyl has seizures, had enough doses to poison all of New York City and New Jersey. So that's a lot of people. You know how many people are in New York? It's made up of like 5 different cities. There's over, I believe, last I heard, there was like 8 to 10 million people, all in those surrounding areas. So that's a lot of people. 8 to 10 million. And the last news story. 1.5 million felons in Florida were stripped of their right to vote. That may soon change. So I think it's good people have their right to vote, but they're going to be felons. They're going to be ex-murderers, big-time drug cartel, drug dealers. So it's very hard to say if they should have the freedom to vote, but I believe, anyone that falls short from the grace of God can have a second chance. Now, it's hard to say even independent murderers, so they have to really change their life around in order to have that right to vote. There has to be a certain number of years that they've proven to the world that they've changed their life around in order for them to be given their right to vote again. That's my theory. That's not really a theory. That's my my opinion. So okay, now that was the last news story. So now we'll go ahead and talk about the topic for today, which is health practices and the dangerous effects. Not just side effects, but dangerous, all kinds of effects as well. Okay. So I like to start off with, how people rub their eyes all the time and stuff like that? It is not good. It happened to me. I would always rub my right and my left eye just like that because I get a lot of pressure because this ulcer that I have causes a lot of bloating and burping and coughing. So it causes a lot of pressure in my eyes also. And I just do it just on the left side because that's where I have all the pressure right there. Now, I didn't know that by doing that, lightly pressing your eyes can make you go blind. So now when I see from my left eye, it's a little bit blurry. My right eye sees better. I still have to wear glasses. And I only wear glasses when I drive just to see far, But I did not know you could go blind by doing that. So if I can help anyone out there, I would recommend never to put pressure on your eyes with your fingers because it can make you go blind. You see people that do that all the time. Like, for example, Chef Ramsay of MasterChef. He's always doing it right here in the middle of his eyes. That may make you go blind. So never place pressure on your eyes. My best advice would just be lightly closing and squinting like that. It's very lightly, not too hard, because the more you keep doing that is the more, see what happens is you weaken the blood vessels and the nerves in your eyes, and that's what causes it to go blind. And when people get head massages and then they start massaging their brain and all that, now light form of that is okay. But once you start putting too much pressure, it could cause effects like tumors and aneurysms and all kinds of things, memory loss. It could cause dementia. It could cause all kinds of things. So when you massage your brain, never use that much pressure. Because if you do, it could cause so many horrible things, you know. It could affect your brain, and your brain controls everything, to heart rhythms, to everything else, and you can have heart problems because of that, you know. So when you massage your brain, only use light pressure. And I'll just go through the list, you know. People that grind their teeth out a lot, like pressure, you know, they go like that. I used to do that a little bit, but you know, because like I said, I have so much pressure building up all the time. It's gotten better now, but you know, it's still a little bit, you know. But there's people that really grind their teeth all the time. That's not good. You can make your teeth fall out, especially biting like hard objects all the time. It makes your teeth fall out, you know. And so what else can I say? Of course, there's always obvious popping fingers. Everyone likes to pop their fingers, you know, and that causes arthritis. It causes more than arthritis, you know. See, because once the pain becomes so severe, people start taking painkillers, and if you take too much of that, that messes up your liver, your kidneys, everything, your stomach, you know, your heart, you know. So taking too many pain relievers is not good at all, you know. And taking too many painkillers is not good at all. And and going through the list, you know, there's people who like to flex their I'm not talking about flexing muscles, like flex their arms and all that. If you do it too much, you know, you can really strain your muscles, and then you can weaken your muscles, and you can actually kill off your muscle cells. So that's not good. You know, in terms of the heart, it's never good to overdo it in exercise. See, my theory is, why does running and jogging and jumping jacks and all cause weight loss? Well, my theory is that you're moving your body around, which is good. You're getting how should I call it? Not just exercise, but you're getting you're toning up in shape. But at the same time, I believe if you shake your heart around too much, and that could be, you know, from a trampoline even to a jumping balloon that all the kids use, you know, if they jump around too much all the time, constantly, that may cause health problems. And you hear on the news, even kids die from heart attacks, you know. So when it comes to how jogging and jumping jacks causes weight loss, it's because you're shaking your heart around so much. Your heart is, you know, being tossed everywhere, and which is good just for a short amount of time. But once you start overdoing that, you can start to have a heart attack from that, you know. So any form of jumping, whether it be a jogging or running or jumping jacks, any form of jumping while doing something, you eventually you weaken your heart. And the more you do that, you can have a heart attack. So only in light moderation. You see all these triathlon runners and all, you know, everyone thinks, oh, they're in tip-top shape, they're going to live forever. That's not true. A lot of them die from heart attacks, you know, because they overdo it. You know what I mean? It's not good to drink too much Gatorade, Powerade, because it has too much sugar, carbs. You know, they say the sugar, carbs, it helps with the electrolytes to replenish dehydration. But at the same time, if you drink too much of it, you're getting the weight back, you know. And that's why I prefer, you know, the Powerade Zero, you know, Gatorade Zero, you know. It's way better, you know. And you could drink even a little bit more of that, you know, instead of the sugar, carbs, you know. So when you shake your heart around, that's what causes the metabolism to burn the weight. But at the same time, if you overdo it, you can have a heart attack from that, you know. And people like to believe, oh, just doing a bunch of sit-ups will make you lose your stomach. That's not really true. It just tones it a little bit. It doesn't make you lose it. What makes you lose your stomach is you have to do a whole lot of things. You have to do diet, exercise. You know, you have to not just do sit-ups. You could do a little bit of that, but you need to do other things, you know. And when I talk about, see, walking, I would walk so many times and I never lose weight. Jogging, I would lose weight, but at the same time, I was getting these sharp pains in my heart, so I stopped because I was afraid of having a heart attack. You know, but now I see like it's because I was doing too much. I would do like 40 minutes of jogging. That's what you got to do in lesser amounts, because when you do it in more amounts, that's when you get the sharp pains on your heart that could cause a heart attack. You know, so you have to do lighter times. You know, and you know, a lot of other ones that the health practices that are dangerous is like hypnosis. People use hypnosis; they think it's good to cure stuff, but science is showing that when people go into hypnosis, it could cause brain change patterns. You know, not just from hypnosis people. You know, the people licensed to perform it, not just them suggesting to their brain. You know. Uh, to change their brain, but you know, certain drugs that they take alters the brain, you know, and there's a lot of pharmaceuticals they push it through, you know, and like people think, oh, well, you're curing one thing, but at the same time you're causing something else. Like with me, I have a lot of heartburn, so I take the they call it the proton pumps. Taking that too long can actually mess up your liver. It could cause kidney stones. You go into dialysis. You know what I mean? You become anemic, you know, and it kills you in the long run. So when you take these proton pump inhibitors to stop heartburn, you don't take it too long. And a lot of people, they take it long term, because once you stop taking it, the heartburn comes back like that. You could be taking it for years, and the very 2 days later, the heartburn comes back. So it's all like a mask for the problem. It doesn't actually fix it. It's all just a temporary mask. It doesn't fix the solution, you know. And a lot of people say, oh, for ulcers and all that, to get surgery, it's not really good, because the organs start to sag in time over the years, and you need to get repeated surgeries to fix the ulcers and all, and it actually makes it worse. Our bodies were not meant to be cut up like this, you know what I mean? So we have to do other alternatives besides getting surgeries for everything, you know what I mean? And like, we need more alternatives besides just surgeries, because everyone thinks surgeries are like the end all thing to make you better, when a lot of times it actually makes you worse, you know. And the surgeries are so dangerous. They cut the wrong organ, the wrong nerve, you bleed to death, you know. It's very dangerous doing surgeries, you know. And um, finishing it up, basically, throughout the rest part of the body is you know, the stomach, you know, there's like all these people that talk about like teas and stuff, you know, you have to make sure you're not allergic to anything like that. And a lot of people talk about these colonics, you know, they are not good. A lot of people make it sound like they're good, like it helps you lose weight. You know, it cleans out your bowels and everything. But the colonics are not good, because what they actually do, I read up on it, is when you send water to flush out your colon, it's actually mixing all the other things involved in your stomach, and it mixes it all around together. And even though it cleans it out, it takes out all the good nutrients, and not just nutrients, the stuff that's vital to remove toxins, the stuff that's vital to remove waste. So having repeated colonics actually makes it worse, because you become anemic, you destroy your kidneys and your liver, you know, and it's almost as bad as becoming an alcoholic, you know. You it seems like a good quick fix, but when people start doing that constantly all the time, it could become very dangerous. There's been a couple of celebrities that's done it. There's been Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. There's been Courtney Love, and even Barack Obama, but he only did it one time when he became president. And the most main one was Princess Diana. She do a whole bunch of it, you know. And if she didn't die in the car crash, that's probably why she could have died from maybe colonics. There's been so many cases of people dying from it. You know what I mean? People are it's killing their livers, their kidneys. It's just messing them up. You know, so they try to make it sound like colonics are good, but stay away from colonics. They're actually very dangerous. You know, do the research. Go ahead and look through all the websites. You know, and they'll tell you how dangerous they really are. And they keep lying to everyone, saying they're good. So and basically that's about it. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there where they try to make it sound like it's good when it's not, and medicine is one of the main ones. You know, a lot of medicines, they have all these side effects, and they cure one thing but they make something else worse. And taking herbs ain't really good all the time, because herbs can be very strong and they're very harsh on the body. And even though the herbs, most people think they're safe, they're natural, they're actually very strong, very bitter, and too much of it can actually be a bad thing also. So it's everything in moderation, you know? I mean, even for the people who vow to stay using colonics, do very little of it over time. And that goes even for acupuncture. People who do nonstop of it may actually be bad, because you actually kill off your nerve cells, you know, and then you become numb to everything. So that's not good either. So you have to do everything in moderation. That includes medicine you take. Don't take it for too long. Like what I take for the protonics, I used to take protonics. I take Zantac now. To treat my ulcer. I don't take it like every day now. It's like every other 2 days, every other 3 days. You shift it on and off. That way you don't get the body to become so used to it that it keeps making your health worse, you know, when you think it's making your health better. So that's basically it, you know. And we'll go ahead and finish off the show with a couple of EVPs. We'll go ahead and start with this one here. And then we'll start with this other one. Okay, and when we do the EVPs, we need to have them in complete silence, because what it does is it picks up the ghost voices and it reads it out. And um, EVP stand for electronic voice phenomenon. For those who haven't heard what it means before, and we'll just go ahead and do one each. Later on, I want to do a little bit less news, a little bit less talk, and more summoning in terms of the apps and in terms of actual summoning in my backyard. So, you know, go ahead and try it day or night. Just go outside in your backyard and just ask God to see signs, and you know, God will start showing you stuff. You know, you'll see Jesus, God in the clouds, your dreams. You hear Him speak to you, so you know it's real. You know, Jesus is really returning. Okay, so while we let this one load for 30 seconds, we'll go ahead and use this one here. This one, you gotta lower the volume all the way because it reads it out. So this one said the words. Now, I was talking about therapy and all kinds of health practices that are dangerous, and talking about therapy. And look, it mentioned the word therapy. Isn't that something? You know, when you hear it say what actually you're talking about, that's how you know these things are real, you know? So the first word is therapy. Second word is ibsonite. Ibsonite. What does ibsonite mean? Huh. Ibsonite. Is tonight. Okay, therapy, ibsonite, nutrient. I was talking about, see, health, about nutrients. Isn't that something? Wow. And this was recorded after I was talking in pure silence. It picked it up, you know? So these are the angels of the Holy Spirit here, you know? Next word is improved. Nutrients improved. And then slate. Slate sounds like slated or flaked or something like that. Slate. So it's therapy, ibsonite, nutrient improved, slate. Wow. Isn't that awesome? You know, this other phone, it picked up. I am always relations. What does that mean? I don't know. Look at that. I am always relations. I am always relations. Okay. We'll go ahead and do one more each and then we'll end the show out. So please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe as well. I really need your help so we can take this show to the top. Okay, we'll go and do one more. So we got the words here. We got lacerating. Now, what was I talking about? Surgeries. And surgeries are kind of like lacerating. You see, lacerate means to cut up into. So, telling you this stuff is real, man. I was talking about surgeries, and it said lacerating, yo. And then the next word is northeast. Lacerating, northeast. And then what is this word? Is it uniseptate or uniseptate? It's uniseptate. Uniseptate or uniseptate. Now, septate sounds like septic. And you know, septic means like sewer system. Isn't that weird? So, lacerating, northeast, uniseptate, and synchises. Synchises. Now, a lot of these words, you think, what does it mean? But it could be words that rhyme with it. So, what rhymes with synchises? Synthesis. How do you say that word? Synthetic. Not synthetic, but like hypothesis, synthesis. I'm trying to like combine words together here. Synapses. That's what I was thinking of. So basically, synopsis means like your memory of what you recall of something. So what is it saying there? You know, something's being cut in the northeast of where of a sewer system of a memory. You know, it's weird. You know what I mean? But like, yo, it is talking about what I'm talking about here. So that's proof that these EVP apps, they really work. You know. Now this one here, the last one, it says, see, it reads it like an 8-ball, and we piece the words together. Let's see here. It says, this is funny. Jade. Who is Jade? Jade would avoid topics that upset others. Of course. You know, we don't want to talk about topics that upset other people. But it's hard because when everything upsets everyone, if you think about it, you know, you talk about God, it angers atheists. You talk about atheism, you know, well, that's different. You can talk about atheists and godly people will still. If you advocate for atheists, then yes, the Christians turn against you. You know, so it goes with everything. Basically, you know, I mean, it said Jade would avoid topics that others. Wait. Jade would avoid. What? This is funny. Jade would avoid topics that upset others. Look at that. Now I use the word upset. It shows the word. The word avoided. I use avoid because it's hard to combine that in the sentence. You know, like for example, Jade would avoided topics, or you see, I guess it would fit if you would have put would have. Jade would have avoided topics because you can't say Jade would avoided. That doesn't make sense. Would avoided, you don't say it like that. You say would have avoided. You always got to use past tense before a past tense word. So that's where you just take off the ed on avoided and say Jade would avoid. See, I just like narrow it down basically. Jade would avoid topics that would upset others. So who is Jade, you know? Oh, Jade rhymes with Gabe. And Gabe is short of my name, Gabriel. Yo, what? I'm seeing a connection here. So, I mean, avoid topics that would upset others, huh? Well, like I said, man, every topic offends certain people of everything, you know, so, you know, we just got to let the topic roll, you know, just let the conversation flow, you know. Later on, I plan to have guests on the show soon. I hope to have the chat room going. And, you know, if I could get monetization, I could get super chat. People could donate to me, you know. And I guarantee you I'll use that money for good purposes. I'll go touring. I'll go traveling. Every city I go to, I'll be on the local TV channels, the TV news. I'll be on the radio stations. I'll be meeting people in public, signing autographs. You know, look, I'm no one special here, man. I'm being humble, and I'm not this egotistical person who says, "Oh, I'm so famous." And you know, if I get there, I get there, but I still want to be humble. You know, I'll always remember my roots. I know where I come from. You know, and I'm not gonna be like this conceited, overly conceited person that no one likes. You know, we all have to stay humble. You know, but I want to go city to city, you know, and meet you all, you know, and I plan to do a 50-state summoning tour, summoning apparitions from God that Prophet Yahweh had envisioned, you know. Hopefully I can carry the torch and carry that out. So we'll go ahead and end on that note. This is one of the most coolest underground news summoning apparitions show out there. And when I mean underground, I don't mean underground as in, you know, under the earth and in hell, you know. I mean like underground, like this is a top secret stuff, but not top secret anymore. You know, we're bringing the underground to the mainstream. You know, just a funny thing to say. I remembered hearing one time on Coast to Coast, this old lady called in to George Norrie and said, why do you always say the beginning of your show deep in the center of the earth? That makes it sound like you're saying you're calling from hell, like you're broadcasting the show from hell. And then George Noy responded. He said, "No, it just means basically like we're nestled in the bunker, basically, like a nuclear bunker, you know." So, the show Coast to Coast on the radio is one of the. You can find it on coasttocoastam.com. It's one of the coolest sci-fi talk shows out there. Now, sometimes they have guests on that say crazy things, that we're created from extraterrestrials, or the dark magic witches, and but it's like we give everyone their freedom of speech, and that's where the callers come in and start talking about God. So it's all good, and there's certain Christians that try to classify that show as deceptive and this and that, when it's not really. They're just allowing a voice to everyone, including the Christian callers that call in. So if you want to check out that show, it's one of the coolest radio stations out there, one of the coolest radio shows. So I'll also give props to what's his name right now? Clyde Lewis. His show is called Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, another good show. So we'll go ahead and end the show out on that note. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and please help spread the word. Thank you and good night.